Hello everybody, welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. I have stolen Deshaun's chair once again.
I'm alive!
I didn't hear anything, so I don't know what that was. So anyway, today I'm bringing you another video game classic. And today I'm going to bring you one of my favorite games I started replaying just recently. I haven't played it in a very long time. Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. The first out of the Sly, anthology, because there's technically 4 games. But the trilogy was much better than the 4th game. I'm sorry. The 4th game... and so here's the deal, guys. I gotta take you back to the year 2002. We were kids. I was a kid back then. And back then we had something called Blockbuster. Now my dad used to take us to Blockbuster to rent us video games. And one of the games he picked out, or one of the games I picked out that I thought was cool, because I had a picture of a raccoon jumping off of a water tower. So, that was interesting. I was like, what the fuck is this? And I picked up Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. And I have to admit, I played games before that. I played like Zelda Ocarina of Time. I had GoldenEye. I had Shadow of an Empire for the N64 and the Super Nintendo. Excuse me. And I played the games, but I didn't appreciate the games because I was a little too young to really appreciate the games. Sly Cooper was the first game I literally went like, this game is amazing, and I loved it. Now, let me take you through. Sly Cooper was made by a company called Sucker Punch Productions. If you don't know who Sucker Punch is, they're the same people that made Infamous. So, they're the same people that made the Infamous series. And that's who made the first 3 Sly Coopers, and the 4th game was handed off to a company called Senzaru Games, I believe. I think that's what they're called, Senzaru Games. They made the 4th game. And I recently started playing again because I found... I know this. I might be showing my age here a little bit. I found my PS3, and I found it. I plugged it back in. I played it, and the first game that popped on there was the Sly trilogy, and I just started playing it. And the Thievius Raccoonus was it's such a classic platformer because it was during that time of during the Mascot Wars, but towards the tail end of the Mascot Wars. But because by 2002, Crash Bandicoot had already gone through his 3 trilogies. Spyro had already, I think, gone through his trilogies. I think Jak and Daxter had just started making their trilogy, or I think they were in the 3 somewhere. I think by 2002 they had either come up with the first one or the second one. So there was still like a mascot thing going on within the game world at that time, and Sly kind of fell under the radar a little bit, not as much as Jak and Daxter. Sorry, Sean. And he really likes Jak and Daxter, but I do too. I love the Jak and Daxter games as well. And Sly Cooper to me was that game that fell on the radar that I fell in love because it was the first game I remember playing and enjoying, like really enjoying as a kid. Now the story is pretty simple. The story is that Sly Cooper was orphaned at a young age by a band of criminals known as the Fiendish Five. Very comic booky, very childish. But it was made for kids. I mean, what do you expect? And there's 5 main bosses you got to fight in the game in order to beat the game. You go through 5 different worlds. You go to like this weird place in England. You go to like a knockoff version of Vegas. A knockoff version of Vegas. You go down to Haiti and the Haitian swamps. You go to like China and by the way, the Kunlun Mountains. Nod there. Kunlun Mountain. And then you go to Russia. And then it's like you go to all these crazy cool places. And then all the bosses are unique. The one thing I love about that is that every bot, like the 5 bot, like the Phineas 5, each one of them are so unique. They have their own personalities. They have their own voice actors. They have everything about them is so cool and unique. Not just because they're different animals, because they're sentient animals. So you can't really get much more than that. And it's like, but they all are very unique. The worlds are so unique too. Because I mean, like for example, the first world that takes place in England is like way different from the place that takes place in Haiti. So it's like there is such there's such like a sense of awe when you go from world to world. There is no clones of the world. Now there might be like levels in the world that might be similar, but it doesn't go more farther than that. And the story itself is the shortest the shortest game out of the 3 trilogies because the next 2 games are like 9 hours long. The first game, if you play your cards right, you can beat it in less than 3. So it's not that long of a game. But you know what? To me, everything else did not distract from that experience about Sly Cooper. And Sly Cooper, I mean, you can even ask Sean. I mean, I ranted and raved about that game when I was a kid. And so, like, I ranted and raved about that game. So, like, it obviously had such an impact on me.
I beat it.
And Sean actually beat it. But there's really not much more to say than that. I will say this. that that it really kind of like Sly Cooper was one of those games that kept platformers alive back then. And I think that without Sly Cooper and games like it, not saying it's the only one, and games like it, that I think that games would look a little bit differently today, and that's why I had to come and review it because one, it's a classic. I mean, it came out almost 20 years ago, so obviously it fits the classic bill. But also for kids like me back in the day that had Blockbuster and all that shit back then, it was a phenomenon. So if I had to give a Sly Cooper or the Thieves Raccoonus Mine rating, I'd give it about a 9. It's not a perfect 10 because, like I said, it's short. It's the shortest one out of them. But man, it is the most unique out of the three of them. It is the most unique in how they did it out of the three of them. So I have to give it that props. So I also encourage you, if you still have a working PS3, I think they might have it on PS4 too. It might be backwards compatible. So if you have a PS4 or PS3 that still works, please, I encourage you to somehow get your hands on it because it is a great platforming game. So anyway, I give Sly Cooper Thievius Raccoonus a 9. And maybe I'll review Sly 2 Band of Thieves because it also fits in the classic bill because that came out in 2004. So it fits that classic bill as well. I'm not going to review 3 because 3 was just basically a clone of 2 and, in some cases it was worse than 2 in a lot of ways. But anyway, guys, that was my 2 cents on Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. If you played the game, what did you think about it? Leave all of your opinions in the comment section below. We'd love to see your feedback. And thank you for joining us on the Comic Gamer Movie Show. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more of us in the future. And we shall see you on the next one. Goodbye.
Ratchet and Clank's better.